Have you ever felt that unmistakable chill,
Hmm.
that cold, prickling feeling that just crawls up your spine,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
and it makes you instinctively turn around, But there's nothing there, just like shadows fading away.
It's such a primal feeling.
It is. It's more than just a shiver, isn't it? It feels like this ancient alarm bell ringing deep inside.
Well, that's exactly what it is from an evolutionary perspective. That feeling of being watched is so deeply ingrained.
Right. Like a warning.
Precisely. Detecting subtle cues of another presence could be a predator, could be a rival. It was
Mhm.
absolutely crucial for survival.
And even now, in our, relatively safe modern world.
That ancient circuitry still lights up. It's
Yeah.
fascinating. It's not always about a physical threat anymore, but it's still a profound disruption.
A disruption of what exactly? Our sense of security.
Yes, our cognitive sense of security. When your brain senses something, but there's no visible source, well, it struggles with that ambiguity.
It fills in the blanks with unease.
Unease, anxiety, sometimes even fear. It taps into this really deep-seated vulnerability. The unsettling nature of just knowing you're not alone, but having no idea by whom or why.
It completely dismantles your sense of safety, your privacy.
Absolutely. It
Yeah.
forces you into this state of hyper-awareness,
Mhm.
constantly scanning, constantly questioning.
And that's the crux of it, right? That moment where you start questioning what's real and what's just. Your imagination playing tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Because, let's be honest, most of the time it is just our minds or, the wind, a branch scraping the window.
We rationalize it's a coping mechanism.
We do. We chalk it up to being tired or stressed or just having an overactive imagination. But what if it wasn't?
What if that feeling was real?
Yeah. What if that persistent prickle on your neck, that nagging sense that something's just off, wasn't paranoia at all?
But a signal.
Exactly. A
Yeah.
signal, a precursor to something life-altering, a truth you never expected. Have you ever felt that
Mhm.
specific, really unsettling sensation that makes you doubt your own perception?
It's a powerful thought experiment, isn't it?
It is. And today, on this deep dive, we're exploring a story, a deeply personal one, where that feeling wasn't just a fleeting moment of discomfort. It was the very first tremor.
The start of something much bigger.
The start of an earthquake, really, beneath the foundations of an entire life.
Hmm.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's dive into this narrative.
Let's do it.
So our story kicks off on what felt like a completely ordinary Tuesday. Just try and picture it, right?
Right?
The narrator maybe humming a tune, thinking about homework, dinner, whatever. Just walking that totally familiar path home from school.
The kind of route you could do with your eyes closed.
Exactly. Down Maple Street, past the old coffee shop, you can almost smell the coffee, right?
Mm-hmm. Comforting.
Yeah. Across that little park, maybe kids are playing, maybe not. Late afternoon sun, long shadows.
The everyday details.
The everyday details, a daily rhythm so ingrained it's almost invisible. Just the backdrop to, normal teenage thoughts.
Until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't. On this specific Tuesday, that rhythm was just subtly disrupted. Not dramatically, not yet. Just like a single note, slightly off key.
An anomaly.
An anomaly. Our narrator noticed someone new, or maybe just someone who suddenly stood out. A man.
Oh.
He was wearing a black hoodie, hands shoved deep in his pockets, head kind of down, and he was walking, maybe just a few steps behind.
Not aggressively close.
No, not overtly threatening, not at first. And the initial thought was, well, pretty rational, isn't it?
He probably lives around here.
Right. Maybe he lives nearby. Trying to fit this new piece into the familiar puzzle.
Making it make sense.
Yeah. But even as the narrator thought that, there was still something about him unsettled them.
Oh, that gut feeling.
That tiny flicker of unease, the kind you usually brush off, right? But it plants a little seed.
What was it, do we know? The way he walked?
Maybe a little too evenly paced, a little too consistently behind. On a street that wasn't even that busy, it just felt off.
And this is exactly where our subconscious just kicks into high gear, isn't it? It's like this finely tuned instrument.
How so?
Well, a seemingly normal detail, like someone just walking behind you, can trigger this powerful intuitive sense that something isn't right, even if you can't articulate why at that exact moment.
So your brain is picking up on things you're not even consciously aware of.
Constantly. It's
Wow.
processing countless nonverbal cues. Think about the context you described, the consistent distance, the hoodie, which, okay, not automatically suspicious, but obscure features.
Right.
The lack of any obvious destination in his stride, Our brains are just wired for pattern recognition and anomaly detection.
Okay.
Someone walking with purpose usually has a certain energy, right?
Oh.
Direction. But someone who's just following,
Gives off a different vibe.
a very different, almost passive-aggressive energy
Yeah.
sometimes. It wasn't an immediate flashing red lights threat, but it was a subtle deviation.
Like a ripple in still water.
Exactly. You might not see the stone drop, but you definitely notice the disturbance in the pattern.
And that disturbance, that ripple, it didn't just disappear because this wasn't a one-off thing. He appeared again.
The man appeared the next day. And the next.
Okay, now that changes everything.
Right. This is where the brain, which is constantly trying to make sense of things, starts connecting those dots in a much more alarming way.
The repetition is key.
Totally. That initial attempt to rationalize it, oh, it's just a coincidence,
Yeah.
that starts to crumble pretty fast when it happens again and again.
Because the mind wants to find patterns. And when the pattern that emerges defies any simple, innocent explanation.
The alarm bells really start ringing.
Loudly, this repeated presence, day after day, same route. It just chips away at those rational defenses.
Leaving behind this growing sense of dread. It's not just unease anymore.
No, it's becoming something much heavier.
And what's really telling, I think, and honestly quite chilling, are the specifics of what he did when the narrator did notice him.
Like trying to blend in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The narrator saw him stop, pretend to tie his shoe,
Mhm.
or suddenly glance at his phone. Ah, the classic avoidance maneuvers.
Right. Think about that. These aren't just random actions. They feel deliberate. Almost like stage directions.
A performance of normalcy.
Yeah. Designed to look innocuous, to hide what he's actually doing, which ironically just makes it even more suspicious, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It screams awareness.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he might be observed, and he's actively, if maybe clumsily, trying to deflect that observation.
So it confirms he's not just some guy walking the same way.
Precisely. This is someone consciously trying to mask their intent while maintaining that persistent, unnerving closeness.
Wow.
And that gradual shift you mentioned from maybe it's a coincidence to, okay, this is a pattern that's crucial for the person experiencing it. It moves from vague unease to a solid, terrifying certainty.
The mind fights it though, right? You desperately want a normal explanation.
Oh, absolutely. You grasp at straws. Maybe he works nearby. Maybe he walks this way for exercise. But when those explanations just don't hold up under repeated scrutiny.
The only logical conclusion left is the most unsettling one.
Intentional targeted surveillance becomes a slow psychological torture. Every attempt by the follower to act normally just highlights how abnormal the whole situation actually is.
God, that's awful. So as these days just bled into this relentless, unnerving routine, that suspicion finally hardened
Into certainty.
into this undeniable, chilling certainty. That initial something about him unsettled me, completely transformed. Now it was just stark, cold conviction. But I knew he was following me.
No more questions. Just a fact.
A fact etched into her daily life, overshadowing everything. That commute, once mundane, is now just fraught.
And this transition from just observing something odd to this escalating dread, it's not just impactful, it's truly transformative in a negative way.
How so?
Well, think about it. The consistent presence of this silent, unknown follower becomes like a heavy cloak, right?
Mhm.
Wrapping itself around every aspect of the narrator's daily life.
Squeezing out any sense of lightness or safety.
Exactly. Psychologically, this sustained perceived surveillance has a profound and frankly debilitating effect. It's not just about the physical presence.
It's the invasion.
It's the relentless erosion of your autonomy, your privacy, your fundamental sense of safety. Just knowing you're being watched, that your personal space, your routine is being systematically invaded.
It must create constant anxiety.
A constant state of low level, sometimes high level, anxiety. It's incredibly draining, traumatizing even. The world, which felt predictable, suddenly feels hostile, unpredictable,
Every corner, every sound.
becomes a potential threat, a confirmation of his presence. It's not just physical discomfort, it's this deep psychological confinement. It limits your choices. It introduces this pervasive sense of powerlessness.
You start changing your behavior, maybe.
Absolutely. You might avoid places you once loved, change your route, withdraw socially, not out of free choice, but out of this perceived need for survival.
So every decision gets filtered through this lens of, is this safe? Will he see me?
Exactly. It's a profound psychological cage built by that constant external scrutiny. It diminishes your sense of self, your agency.
That phrase used, slow erosion of safety and privacy, that really hits home. Our routines, they are our sanctuaries, aren't they?
They are. Moments of unconscious comfort where we feel secure, unseen, free to just be.
But when that routine is constantly disrupted by this unknown, persistent presence, the sanctuary is violated.
Utterly violated. Every familiar step, every comfortable corner becomes a potential point of observation, a moment of acute self-consciousness.
The privacy isn't just about what you're doing.
It's the freedom to exist without scrutiny,
Yeah.
without the burden of that unseen gaze, and this continuous silent pressure builds.
Transforming the everyday into dread.
And the threat starts to internalize, doesn't it? The narrator begins questioning not just their safety, but maybe even their own perceptions, their sanity.
God.
And that constant disruption, it creates this immense cognitive load. Think of your brain like a computer. Right?
Right.
Normally, it allocates resources efficiently. But under this kind of sustained, ambiguous threat, a huge chunk of its processing power is perpetually tied up in threat assessment.
Constantly thinking, where is he? Is he looking? Are those footsteps real?
Exactly. Is my phone being watched? This cognitive load diverts energy from everything else, concentrating on school, remembering things, processing emotions, even sleeping properly.
It's like having too many apps running in the background.
Precisely. Slows the whole system down, leads to chronic fatigue, irritability, immense stress. It's what we sometimes call a psychological inversion.
What do you mean by that?
The predictability